Hey guys.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome back.
Welcome to episode 5 of Malgam, the Christmas Bananza expression special. Kwanzaa Hanukkah special. As you can see, we have some decorations. We have bows and presents and some fancy outfits.
You know, I actually wore this outfit 4 times.
I wore this twice.
This week.
I wore this on Christmas Day and right now. Currently it's Tuesday, 3 days after Christmas.
The 28th.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now, here's the thing, guys. It's Christmas Day right now. This is true. It's Christmas. I've decided. Because we don't really know when Christmas started.
Exactly.
Wasn't Jesus born in the summer or something?
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know. But we're just saying it's the 25th. So instead, we're going to... Malgam Christmas is the 28th.
We know the exact year that he did it, that he was born. We don't know anything else. He was actually born 4 BC. You knew that?
Well, to them it was different than to us.
Yeah.
Because they had a different time signature.
But, like, the way that we view time right now, he would have been born
4 BC.
4 BC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not really.
Yeah. BCE. Have you heard Neil deGrasse Tyson's thoughts on BCE and
No.
BC?
He's interesting, though.
Yeah, he is. He's really weird. So, if you guys don't know about Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's a
Astronomer.
famous astrophysicist
Yeah.
who's in charge of, like, some conservatory in California. But
He's very famous. He's
very
like Bill
famous.
Nye. He's like Bill
Yeah.
Nye.
He's famous because he's pretty young and he's very personable. He can, like, talk to people and be very
How old is Neil
Charismatic.
deGrasse Tyson?
charismatic. But anyway, something that he said about BC, and that whole thing is basically, it was BC meaning something in Latin, but basically people just thought of it as before Christ, and AD was after Christ, or AD was after death. But then scientists were like, well, that's very hypothetical, theoretical, because we don't really know exactly when he died and when he was born. So they made like a big switch to making it BC, or no, what was it? It's BCE, which is before Common Era,
Or before
and
current
CE,
era.
which is Common Era.
Yeah.
So basically, Neil deGrasse Tyson went on Joe Rogan's podcast.
He's 63.
Yeah. He went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was just talking about science stuff. And then when they brought up BCE and BC, Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, you know what? I think that's stupid. Because a lot of Christian philosophers and, like, Roman Catholic people, they made a lot of scientific advances.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, we should pay respect to them by keeping BC and AD. So Neil deGrasse Tyson thinks we should keep it. I don't
Okay.
really care, because, like, it doesn't really matter to me.
It just needs to be consistent.
No, I don't think it even does, because it means the same thing. Like, the cutoff point is practically the same place. Like,
Okay.
0.
Right.
But anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson's pretty cool. I have his book that I never finished.
Which one?
It's called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
There's another one that he...
I got that when I wanted to be an astrophysicist.
I read one that he did. I forget what it was called.
That's the one I got.
Yeah, that one.
It's very small. Currently, I'm reading A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. I got that for Christmas, actually.
Oh, it
Which
was
is
Ice
today.
Age Collision Course. That was it.
Did he write that?
No, I think he was in it, though. I mean, it shows up as shows he was in.
Collision Course. I don't know if I saw that one.
Does he play a
Down here.
role in it?
Full cast.
Adam Devine.
There he is. Neil DeBuck.
Okay.
He played someone
Oh,
that
he
had his
has
name.
got a little cameo in it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's AD and BC and stuff.
Oh, he's in Gravity Falls.
He is?
Oh, huh?
Who does he play?
I don't know.
He's right there. He plays Waddles?
What?
He plays the pig.
Waddles is my favorite character.
Not me. I like Benjamin Blangen or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Blendon. Anyway, since December 28th is officially Malgam Christmas, that's today, we have to exchange our gifts that we haven't given or known.
Mark your calendar for next year. December 28th is Malcolm Christmas.
He doesn't know what I have.
Yeah.
You know what I have?
Gift?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
And I don't know what he has. But he's been going on about it, saying, oh my God, your present is
I'm
so good.
excited to give him this present. I put a lot of time and money into this.
I don't know what it is.
It's so good.
I also put money into mine, but it's smaller.
Mine's bigger, which makes it better.
Yeah, maybe. Except mine is more quality.
Oh, you
they
think?
say.
Oh, you think?
Look at an iPhone. This thing costs more than both these combined.
Look at my iPad.
It costs less than that.
It did? Yeah.
All right.
You're right. All right, am I first?
Yeah, you can be first.
This is my second to last gift of Christmas.
Really? Oh,
so
yeah.
we're gonna have to be very descriptive about this because now we have Spotify.
Hey, Sophia. Guess who gave your boyfriend a gift before you did?
How's that feel? Everyone did because you're the last one.
I know what the gift is, too. You told me.
Also, I was driving here. I was late, but I was driving here to shoot E5. And Sophia texts me, Oliver ate your present. Oliver is her new cat that she got from Max. She was like, Oliver ate your present, now I have to rewrap it.
Also, I have to interject. Oliver is not his name. His name is Tubby, and that will always be his real name.
I think Oliver
Next.
is a very cute name. And he's
Tubby.
he's a cat. I don't know if I said that or not.
Tubby's way better.
Anyway, but Max said that the present is not edible, so there's no way that Oliver could have, or Tubby could have eaten.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You didn't read the whole thing. Like, what she actually said was, he ate the gift, I have to rewrap it. So obviously he didn't eat the gift. Because if she had to rewrap it, then he probably just ate the wrapping.
Or he ate a little bit.
I don't think...
A little corner.
Actually, that could be, but I don't think so.
A little piece.
Anyway, let's get to it, guys.
So, just to remind you, you should be very
knife.
descriptive because we have a podcast on Spotify now. So
Okay, so my box is like 1 foot by half a foot.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Well, 1 foot by 1 foot by half a foot.
It's small.
Don't shake it.
It's alive.
There's something living
There's
in
a
this
ticking
box.
coming from it. No. All right, ready?
I had to use 2 pieces of paper. So.
Oh, I see. You're the worst rapper in the world.
See, look, because I only got halfway.
Now the joke. You got me a box.
Also, I reused this box, so I didn't get you that.
Oh, you didn't get me a some sleep.
I didn't get you some sleep.
www.
It's a drink.
www.getsomesleep.com.
No, don't plug them. This is not sponsored.
Yeah, my bad. Sponsor us some sleep. This is a cute knife.
A cute knife?
Yeah, you're my blood circle.
Well, yeah, I am.
The Boy Scouts and Marines.
All right, let's see what you got.
Inside the box is another box.
Open that box first.
This one?
Yeah.
It says Ocarina, Wind, Love Music, Enjoy Orchestra.
Yeah, check what that is. I already opened it, so there's no tape.
Made in China.
Watch this, guys.
There's a little black pouch thingamajig, and it has an obscure shape. Dude! I've been rambling about one of these for the longest time. No one got it for me for Christmas. I was gonna buy it myself.
This is a brown ceramic ocarina.
I don't know how to play it.
No, you don't put your lips over, you put your lips on.
What does that mean? Like that?
Yeah.
It's a big instrument.
You should put your bottom lip here and your top lip there and blow into that hole. No, your top lip is going over. Don't go over. You're not blowing in.
You're right.
You're covering the holes. Yeah. Now if you change the holes, you can play stuff. Now here's the thing. This is very difficult to learn, to actually play stuff on.
I'm not bad at
But that's
anything.
good.
This is cool.
It'll take a long time.
It's gonna take a long time.
Also, it comes with a little pouch.
Dude, this is so cool.
Also, you know who famously has an ocarina?
Link.
Link from Ocarina of Time.
I'm sorry if you're only on the audio right now.
Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome. So I Max let me borrow his game, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which has been like, my brother and I have been really into it recently, for the Switch. And I was like looking into Link, and the soundtrack is like sick. And then Ocarina of Time, they have an instrument, which is this instrument. And I've been looking into this instrument because it sounds cool, one, and two, it's very interesting. So here's how it works. You know how flutes work? Flutes are linear, right? And they have evenly sized holes all the way down. And you blow into the one side, and it'll make a lower pitch the more holes you cover up because it's going through more tubing. Kind of like how a trombone, the lower notes are the ones that are fully extended if you ignore parcels. With this, it's a really odd shape. It looks like a bike seat, right? And because it's such a weird shape, all the holes are different size instead of all being the same size. And you cover up those holes, and they're placed really oddly too. So you play it by angling your air in this little shaft here, and also covering up like weird combinations and stuff. But like, I got a harmonica for Christmas, and I got this, and I'm gonna get a guitar. So I'm gonna be busy.
He can be a one-man band.
We actually saw one of those.
Nice.
When we were in Lancaster City performing with our band. It's gonna take some practice.
Yeah, you don't have to look at YouTube videos to see how to hold it.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think it's
definitely not
holding
it. That's awesome.
And there's a book.
Oh, like the basics
There's
and
a
stuff.
tutorial and song book for 12-hole ocarina. See, look at this thing. Oh my god.
Whoa, there's notes.
Yep.
Notation. Whoa.
Yep.
Wait, look how weird the fingerings are really spaced out. Like, look at that.
Yeah, look, you don't cover those two, but then you cover that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
It's not linear at all. That's crazy.
Also, with a flute, you blow like sideways into it, but with that, you blow straight through.
Ooh. Like that, yeah. This will keep me busy.
Anyway,
good.
that's
good
not
present.
your only present.
Good present. Thank
There's
you,
also
Max.
this.
There's more.
Yeah, there's more. I spent some money. We didn't agree whether we were going to disclose costs.
We didn't. This is the Avatar manga. I went into BAM.
Those aren't manga. Those are
aren't manga?
comics.
Okay. They were in the manga section at BAM.
I guess they could be manga, but it's not an anime.
It's not an anime.
I don't think they're manga.
Because
also anime is derived from manga, but this had the anime first and these came second. Also, this is only the first two. There's 3 omnibuses. This is like the first one that has you know how they were in comics, like the small magazine type things?
Yeah.
This is like them compressed into bigger things.
So it was like each newspaper. Oh, by the way, this is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
See, look. You see how this goes like this?
Yeah.
It lines
Oh, it's
up.
a whole
so
collection.
There's a third one, yeah. Or actually, there might be more than 3, but
Whoa.
there were 3, but it was very expensive. So I got only 2.
So just to disclose, this is Avatar: The Last Airbender comics. So there's the show, which is my favorite show of all time, and then there's comics that I've been wanting to invest in for like the longest time, but I haven't.
It's like extra material.
I haven't had. Yeah, it's like an extended story, and like. If you love the characters and you want to invest in it because it's like I want more, I want to see more of these guys. But I've never had the means or the whatever to do. Oh, this is gonna be so cool.
I also didn't read them because I didn't really care.
Right?
Like I watched the show before you, and I never really invested enough to get the comics. But I mean, they look pretty good.
They do.
Like, I'm a comic reader, avid comic.
If you want to borrow them when I'm done, be my guest.
Maybe not though, because I'm awesome. And I have so many comics to read that I just haven't read yet.
Oh yeah.
Do you need this?
No.
All right.
How
did you enjoy your gift, Jeffrey?
All right. Here's your knife. You
You
shouldn't
didn't answer it.
What?
There's a lock. I said, how did you enjoy your gift?
Oh, I did.
Jeffrey?
That's awesome.
Your
I
gift.
did not expect because you said like a week ago that like you didn't do anything, and I was
this is very light. I tried to pick this up.
I was like, okay, there's not gonna be much. Like I shouldn't expect like too much, but that was awesome.
Well, yeah, I just used Amazon.
Yeah.
I had some of that. I mean, I had the comics in my mind for a while.
Oh, I tricked you.
so
I
it's
tricked you.
not
Okay, so for you
a
who
box.
out there, my present was like huge. No, stop! You have to read it.
My brother, I'd do anything for you. It's been an honor. Jeffrey Martin. Now, let me just say, that I should be capitalized.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna let the camera see it before I do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
We'll cover that up.
That's actually crazy.
I know.
Wait, how did you get this?
I had it custom commissioned
By who?
by a guy I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's us.
Uh-huh.
And we're Attack on Titan.
It's from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that is crazy. I've seen these kinda. Wow. That looks like me. And that looks like you.
It does. I actually had to request it to have your hair in a bun. And I was like, have some like stubble there too.
Wow.
I'm a little upset with my nose though, because my nose looks a little...
Your nose looks like my nose.
Yeah.
In real life. Wow, that is insane.
Ta-da! Dude,
I'm
I had
gonna
to
hang
keep
that
that.
in
I
my
had to keep that
room.
under wraps for the longest time. So when I bought it from the guy, he sent me a digital copy of it.
Yeah?
So I had to go to Staples, get it printed out, and then I had to
get
go
a
to
frame.
Walmart and get a frame. So the final cost of everything was like, it was pretty up there.
$2? How much was yours? I'll tell you how much mine was.
All right, so the commission itself was like $45.
Mhm.
Printing it out was $15, and then the frame was $14. I don't know how much that is. I don't either.
Mine was $83.
83.
Yeah.
So we spent. Actually, you probably spent more.
Because the comics were like 20 each, and then the ocarina was 40.
20 each.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's like a normal thing.
that's a lot to me.
Oh my.
And you can hang it in your room.
Yeah, I'm going to hang it. We are the Survey Corps. Have you even seen it?
Yes, I saw the first season.
Okay, well you don't
It's
even
one of
know the
Max's
good part.
favorite anime.
It is my favorite anime.
It is? I
Yeah.
thought you said JoJo's was pretty up there too.
No. JoJo
Okay.
is not pretty up there, actually.
Okay.
Tokyo Revengers is pretty up
Oh,
there.
yeah, Tokyo Avengers, yeah.
Actually, I don't want that to fall. It's not like glass, I don't think.
No, it's plastic.
Yeah, but still, that's crazy. I very much enjoyed your gift.
Yes! Dude, that was so hard to not...
Say something?
Exactly. Because I was like, I was so excited
That
about
was
it.
unexpected, too. I didn't think that was what that would be.
It was because it was so big.
It
that you were
wasn't.
like... That was fun.
Now, we're about halfway through the... Actually, we're not. We're like 20 minutes through.
Yeah.
Wait, don't look at that. Okay. Now for new actual topics. We got the Christmas stuff out of the way. December 28th, Malgam Christmas is officially over. It is now the 29th. So, let's see. Let's talk about cold things.
Ice.
No. Here's what I had in mind. Do you know what cryostasis is?
So it made me think of... I forget the actual term, but it's like when they freeze your brain. That's what it made me think of.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
like what it's like. So basically, cryostasis is when, well, what we use it as, like, there's like science fiction stuff that is in movies and games and stuff,
Right.
but in real life, they're doing this thing where when someone dies, like within 8 minutes or like within an hour or something,
Mhm.
if they signed up for this thing, which costs thousands of dollars, the ambulance will take them to this facility. They'll take out their brain
Mhm.
or their head. It depends on what you pay for. Like if you pay over 100,000, you can get your whole body. But anyway, here's what they do. They take it, whichever stuff you paid for, they take it and they freeze it in these tubes or this like container, and then they have it in this giant facility that stays it like completely frozen. And what they're doing is they're assuming that in the future we will make a technology able to unfreeze them and put them in bodies to keep them alive again.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's like rich people that want to be immortal
Yeah.
do this. But we don't have the technology yet, so it's an investment.
So we're banking on that.
Right.
Okay.
But if you think about it, that's like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because either you die and nothing happens, or you die with the investment that you could be alive in the future.
Right.
I think that's cool. I learned about it through Vsauce. He had this one video about death.
About death, yeah.
Yeah, and he
I
was
saw
like,
the video.
I've always like really had a tough time with dealing with I'm going to die in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he went through a bunch of these different programs, which that was one of them. Another one was like, you could get a tree planted where you are or something. But yeah, cryostasis, would you do that if you had the money?
If I had the money, if you said, hey, I'll do this for you, I'll pay for this to be done to you, I'd be like, sure, right?
Well, you have to go to them.
Right, but if you said to me, like, hey, I'll pay for this to happen to you, I'd be like, sure.
But you wouldn't pay your own money.
I don't think I would.
What if you were rich and you had the money to
Well,
spare?
if I was rich, then that'd be a completely different story.
But if you were rich, it would be like no lose scenario.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if I'm right now, as I am now, I wouldn't save up money
to
do that. Because here's the thing. You're making a gamble, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Either you die and you're dead, or you die and you're investing in your future. But in that investing process, you're sacrificing your quality of life in the now.
Right.
So you're still investing. It's an investment. It's taking what you have now and investing it in the future. But if that goes down, you're still going to die, and you might just have a lower quality of life.
That's true. Here, my dilemma with this is that, like, number one, I don't think I would do it because of the money thing. Like, I don't know if I would spend $50,000 or $100,000 just to do that with nothing I could even do with. But also, the bigger dilemma is that I want to see the future, and, like, I want to see what the future has to offer, but I don't want to be like, oh, I want to live forever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I was given the opportunity to be immortal, I've always said that I would, just because I want to see everything. Mm-hmm. But the problem with that is, like, I feel like we have an end, and we should just, like, be accepting of it. But it's so difficult for us as humans.
Yeah.
Because, like, no other animal is like, I don't want to... Like, they don't want to die, but they don't know why.
Uh-huh.
But for us, it's like, we can have reasons. We want to, like, see things. We want to do things.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be like, man, I want to live forever, and I want to, you know...
So you're more curious.
I'm more curious with what has to come.
Okay.
Because, like, I know that in 66 years, we went from the first airplane to landing on the moon.
Right.
And then, like, in 66 years from now, we could have so many different things that I would never know of. Well, actually, I would probably live to then. But, I mean, like, in 100 years or something, in 1,000 years, the humans will still be alive. And we would just have so much stuff that I don't get to see, which, like, sounds narcissistic and selfish. But, I mean, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel. I don't know. But I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it.
I was always bummed by old people, like, not understanding how to use, like, smartphones and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I going to be like that one day with, like, whatever new... Because I feel like I have a more progressive mindset.
Exactly.
Where it's like, I'll learn new things and I'll adapt to what's better. And I feel like a lot, like, the past generation wasn't like that. They're like, okay, this is fine, this works, so it's fine. But
That's
our generation's more like, we need to, like, as the world improves, we improve along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's an interesting thought, because a lot of people in, like, the 50s were like, this is the life.
Exactly.
Having a home, having a car. Mm-hmm. And then when smartphones and stuff came in, they were like, this is extra. We don't need to know this stuff. Uh-huh. But then it got more popular, and now the whole world's based on it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's weird to think, like, will there be something that I won't know how to use, and I'll know how to use this, and young kids don't know what this is? Mm-hmm. Or, like, will young kids know what this is, and I'll know what this is, and then there's new things? I don't know. Because I don't know how to drive a manual car.
Yeah.
But old people do.
Uh-huh.
Yet I can do this, and they can't. That's interesting.
I'd help a lady download the Dunkin' app at Dunkin'. Like, she was like, can you do this on my phone? And I was like, no problem.
Yeah, it's so weird, because, like, we've almost grown up with this kind of stuff, so it's easy for us. Mm-hmm. But them, it's like, it seems so easy for us that we think it'll be easy for them. But, like, my grandma on my dad's side, she has this iPad that's, like, really old, but she uses it to take pictures. And she, like, doesn't understand how it works. Like, she thinks that, oh, she takes a picture and it's just there. But, like, she doesn't understand the data behind it and all that. Uh-huh. Whereas, for me, I've grown up with it. I'm like, oh, if I need to know something, I'll just Google it. If I have to take a picture, it's just it's on my phone's memory. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, okay.
What's my question? Happen? If you were a parent, let's say you have a kid, at what age would you expose them to a phone? Because here's my... 16. Okay, well, here's my thought behind it. Because, like, if you do it too early, they grow up with it, and they're, like, not... Because you see some kids these days are, like, addicted to the... Like, they're, like, actually, like...
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
I started to think about this because of Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok where it was a bunch of clips of Bo Burnham being, like, really cool and smart. Like, normally he's, like, this comedic guy, but he's actually very intelligent.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, people don't realize smartphones at a young age are, like, ruining kids' minds because everything is no delayed gratification. It's all instant gratification.
Exactly.
If I want something, I click it. If I want to watch, like, a YouTube video, I just search it up and scroll through, click whatever I want to see. That's not good for our brains because we need development. We need, like, challenges, or else we won't be ready for the world. Like, I have 2 younger sisters. This is what I have personally that I've seen. I have 2 younger sisters. One is 3, and one is 6 or 5. I don't know.
All right.
But anyway, they are growing up with technology. Like, we grew up with technology, but when I was, like, born, smartphones were barely a thing. Actually, they weren't a thing. People were still having flip phones and stuff. But then, as I got older, so did technology. So I was, like, 10 or 12 when I had my first iPod or iPad or whatever.
Sure.
So I grew up with it somewhat, but I wasn't super young with it. And not a lot of people were until now, so we didn't know what the outcomes were. But now my sisters are like that, and it's bad. Like, I can see it very declining on their health. Like,
Wow.
they will watch something as often as they can. They will ask. That is like if you offer them candy or, like, an hour with their iPad, they would choose the iPad.
Wow.
And, like, as a kid, I would be like, give me the candy, you know? Because I didn't know what an iPad was. But it's like they'll be watching it and they're entranced. Like, they'll be sitting there with their iPad and they're, like, they're not eating or anything. And then they have to, I have to put my hand in front of them for them to eat. And if I don't, they'll just be there. And you can say, like, one of them, his name is Ivy. If she's sitting there and not eating, I'll be like, Ivy. She'll be like, and I have to say it, like, 3 or 4 times louder and louder, or she will not hear me. And this is horrible. Like, this is going to cause so many mental problems with them in the future. That's why I was like, you know what? This is, like, very restrictive of rights because, like, you're not allowing people to do stuff. But I don't think, if I ever had kids, which I don't think I will, if I ever had kids, I wouldn't give them a phone or, like, their own personal device until they were, like, 16. Because I just feel like you need the mental ability to progress without it until that point.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like it's very detrimental to everyone. Like, I feel like I even sometimes notice myself being like that. Like, not as bad as them. Like, I'm not, like, if you say my name, I'll like, look away. But I've noticed that, like, if I'm bored, I'll automatically go to my phone. Like, I'm dependent on it, which isn't good. But it's just how it's going to work from now on.
Yeah.
It's like WALL-E, where they're, like, sitting in the chair super fat and they got whatever they want on the screen.
A culture of consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with my dad and my mom, and I was like, I don't remember where this quote comes from. I think I told this to you once, but if the product is free, the consumer is the product.
That was on here.
It was?
Yeah, it was like episode
Oh, I didn't know that.
3.
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah.
You are the product to us. We are getting your attention.
Break it. Turn it off. Go outside.
No, don't.
Don't do that. Stay. Please.
Well, we should talk about antinatalism now.
We're hypocrites. But I want to say one thing quick. Einstein once said that common sense, or the common way that you view the world, is a combination of prejudices that you develop before the age of 10. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Hitler was a fascist, he was a jerk.
I mean, yeah.
Before someone is, like, a dictator, they're a bad person.
Uh-huh.
Like, it all comes down to you being a bad person.
Mm-hmm. And
like,
it comes to early experience. Have you started reading Outliers yet?
Mm-mm.
Good book. It's not bad.
What is it about?
So it's like a self-help book, that's like the genre it would fit in. It's a mixture between philosophy and self-help, but it's about success. Okay, and they start the first. I skipped over the introduction, but the first chapter is about opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's talking about how there's a lie in culture, and that lie is that if you work hard, you can
Succeed.
You can achieve greatness. And he's like talking about, it's a he. He's talking about he starts with the analogy of hockey. He like tells the story of hockey and like this game of like the national juvie hockey league in Canada, which is like the best of the best, but they're all like 17, 18, 19, right?
Right.
And he's talking about how these guys are the best of their age group, and there was like reporters that he was like quoting about people talking like, oh, these guys are like phenomenal, they're great, and they put in a lot of work, and like the coach was like, I'm so proud of the work these guys put in, they earned this spot,
Right.
and the author was like, just took a step back and was like, did they earn it? Did they deserve it? What factors played into their success? And he goes on to talk about how there are coincidences that happen in each of these players' lives that plays a huge role. The percent of people in this juvie championship hockey match that were born in the month of January is 50%. The next month, if you take that 50%, set them aside, and then you have the next group of the remaining people, 40% of them are born in February.
So
Take that group aside.
90% were born in January and February. Or 40% of the remaining group.
Yeah.
Okay.
40% of the remaining group. Take that group, set it aside. The leftovers, 30% of them are from January, February, March. Set that aside. Everyone else is just really lucky. The point he was trying to make is that the cutoff date for tryouts in the 8 and 9-year-old bracket to get into an actual like honors hockey program when you're 8 or 9 years old is January 1st.
So they had more time.
They had more time, exactly. He's talking about how it has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with opportunity that they had. Why are the people in January going to be the best? Because they've had the most time to mature since the beginning of this, since they're allowed to try out. And they have the most time to use that maturity to improve, right? So if you had 2 kids born at the exact same time, it's the exact same year, they're the exact same age, except one of them was born January 1st and one's born December 31st, right? They're going to be completely contrary. One will not have a shot at like making it big leagues when they're 19 at all. The other one will have like a great shot because like January 1st is like the best date. He goes on to use the same analogy for concert violinists later on when he talks about practicing. He again goes on later to talk about computer programmers like Bill Gates and Bill Jones, I think, this other big programmer who like rewrote Java, and he rewrote like a lot of the software that we use today, and talked about how their success, like Bill Gates, to take him for example, he went to a private school because his parents were wealthy. His dad was like a very good lawyer, and his mom was a like came from a dad who was a well-to-do banker, and he went to a private school. That private school had a computer that was better than most universities at the time. He just so happened to be allowed to use it. He used his computer and got free time at the time. So computers in the day, they used to use punch cards, and you'd have to go to a computer, and you'd have to, well, in the very early days, you go to a computer with the punch card. You have to write the code that you wanted the computer to do. Computers could only handle one project at a time. So you'd have to bring your punch card with the code on it, bring it to the computer, have them process it, wait for the computer to process it, give it back. But it costs money to do that process. It also costs money because you're waiting in line because there's a ton of people who are also doing this. So around the same time, they built another computer they advanced the computer to a point where it could handle more tasks at once. And that was the kind that Bill Gates had. So he could use this computer as much as he liked, and he was getting much more experience than people were at universities. Because think about it this way. If you have to wait in a line for a couple hours, you only have like 20 minutes to write your code.
Right.
And you don't get a lot of practice. However, what he's doing is he's just correcting, sending it in, getting a response, getting it back, rewriting, sending it back, instantly getting responses from this computer. He's getting so much more practice time.
And then by the time he went to college, they had the same thing or better because time passed.
He actually, he was like famous for being a Harvard dropout, but he also got spare parts from this other leading like software program of that day. And they were also talking about this. The rise of super geniuses like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates,
Mark Zuckerberg.
That's what?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, I meant Apple. Sorry. But the founders of all these guys were born in like 1950s, like specifically the year 1954 and 1955. Why? It was the perfect year right after World War II, where people weren't like cooped up with World War II, and it wasn't too late where it was like all these new innovations are happening, so there's no need for this innovation anymore. So they were born in just the perfect amount of time that they needed, where there was a need in the market, and they could fill that need with the skills that were becoming known at that time. So it has to do a lot with timing and opportunities that you have, and like Bill Gates was infinitely lucky, and he's like, he knows that too. He's like he talks about it all the time. He was like, I was the product of a lot of coincidences at the same time, and I was stupid lucky. You should, I mean, you'll read it, but like it's crazy. If you have already read Outliers, it's, I don't know if the rest of the book's good, but I like it a lot. Sophia does not like it, but if you haven't read it yet, you either will have to read it for 11th grade AP Lang and Comp, or you won't have to read it, but you should anyway. Anyway, where were we?
Well, another thing about that is, like, whenever I think about different outliers and stuff, or, like, whatever you were just talking about with luck and stuff, that makes me think about, like, different timelines or, like, dimensions, you know?
Sure.
Where, like, a lot of things that, like, there's this big thing in my life early on where I was, like, my mom told me this. So my birthday is September 10th, as you know. Mm-hmm. And the cutoff for kindergarten is in August, because that's when school starts.
Right.
So I was very close to the cutoff because I'm early September and whatever. And so are you, but, like, I'm even earlier. Uh-huh. But the point was that whenever I was 5, she could have put me in, and then I would have been younger than everyone else in my class.
Right.
And she thought, it would probably be better for him to be older, just because he would have more time to mature.
Exactly.
Maybe be smarter, whatever. But here's the thing. So she waited till I was still 5, but, well, I would have been 4 and then turned 5 early on. Whereas everyone else probably would have been 5 and then turned 6. So what happened to me is that since I was put in the later year when I was 5 and then I turned 6, I was somewhat older than most people in my grade.
Right.
But, like, my entire life would be completely different if she put me in that 1 year before.
And the thing is, that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
But it matters so much.
Yeah, like, in my life, it doesn't matter. Because it didn't happen. But if you think about it, like, I probably wouldn't be in marching band.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have met you, and you wouldn't have told me marching band was fun.
Yeah.
Like, I joined marching band, and I wasn't very good friends with you. And so I didn't have, like, any fun, so I quit. And then I became friends with you outside of marching band. So, and you were like, it was so fun last year, and I was like, shoot, I should have done it. Yeah. So then I joined, and then it became, like, almost my whole life.
Right.
So if I was friends with different people, with different experiences, there's an infinite amount of differences that would have come from
Everything would change.
Every single thing.
That one thing.
Yeah.
And here's another thing.
Amalgam wouldn't exist.
Oh, shoot.
That's almost a fact.
That is, yeah.
So, like, think about this. Think about how lucky you are. There are so many different things I wouldn't...
Billions of choices that led to this moment of you getting the privilege of watching us talk about nonsense. Or listening to us. Because it's on Spotify now. Here's another thing. A bad assumption to make is that if you get these grades in this school... Oh, I shouldn't say this. It's not fair to grade people in 11th grade against each other in terms of intelligence. You should not use the same standard. In the book, in the Outliers, they were talking about how because of cutoff days for school, people mature at different rates also. So a kid in the back end, like the youngest kid in 11th grade, is going to have less maturity than the one who's the oldest, right? And that plays a very important factor. So he talked about a model where it would be a lot of work from the administrative standpoint, but it would not take that much from, like, actual staffing and actual practicality. But he talked about how if we staggered school start times and we had 3 different school start times at different points in the year, it would be way better. But we just don't do that. We just choose not to.
Well, there's so many things like that.
Yeah.
Daylight savings. Useless.
I don't get that.
I'll explain it.
Okay.
In the 1700s, they had no electricity. They used candles.
Right.
Benjamin Franklin said, you know what? there's more day at this time and there's less day at this time. If we want to use less candles, we should make it later when there's more night or more day, so that the light lasts longer.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas whenever there's more nighttime, we should have more candles. So he said, instead of it being the same time all year round and we'll use the same amount of candles, think about this. If I use the same amount of candles in summer as I do in winter, I'll be using different amount of candles, you know? Because I need more artificial light in the winter.
Right.
So he moved the time so that, like, if I had to work at 6 in the winter, it would be changed so that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just all about candles. Because in the summer, you want more daylight for them because they needed light. And they didn't want to use candles because they're expensive or whatever. Well, they're probably not expensive, but still, you don't want to use them. So if you wanted to use more daytime, you would move the time downwards so that you would wake up when there's more light and go to sleep when there's less light.
Sure.
Like, you don't want to go to sleep when there's still light out because then you're wasting daylight.
Right.
So you move the time down and then you move the time up whenever there's less light. And that was the whole point. A lot of people think it's like farmers and stuff, and that contributed because there were a lot of farmers back then, but like it was mostly about candles.
Well, why is that still not like a thing today?
People don't use candles.
But like, it's still nice to like
because think
be
about
awake
this.
in this time where there's the most sun.
Yeah, but for us it doesn't change because we have artificial light. People work when it's dark out.
Right.
They didn't work when there was no light. Like, they didn't want to work when they had to use candles.
Well, think about temperature too, because like it's colder when there's no sun.
Well, we have AC, so it doesn't matter. Everything that they had problems with, we can fix.
Right.
So I think that we should get rid of it. It's useless. Like, think about this. Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to get an hour extra of sleep. Okay? Well, the other day you're getting an hour less. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many things like that.
I think we should actually have more daylight savings times. That way it'll trick your brain.
We should have a
into
daylight
thinking
saving
you have more
every day.
sleep. Yeah. So it'd be like one day you get an hour less sleep, and then the next day you get more. So it's like, oh shoot, I have more. But
And
you
then
just
the
ignore.
entire winter, we're thinking we have less sleep.
Yeah.
Because we're changing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, another thing that I think is stupid is school.
Yeah.
Not in general. I think school is
in
good.
general.
No, school is good. People who think school is good are not smart. Like, everyone thinks school... People are like, oh, I hate school. If you didn't have school, you wouldn't know 60% of the stuff you have.
It's not like, oh, I don't want to do school.
It's
I don't like
figurative.
School. It's like, I don't like the way the school is a
That's
system.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think the way we do school, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But school in general, I like it.
Now, Finland.
Number 1 in education. Think about this. Number 1 in the world in education. Their system is completely different to us. And people wonder why kids hate school.
I was talking to my mom about this. And I was talking about how, like, so the way that they do school... so the way we do in school in America is very... Strict. It's also... It could be way stricter. It's like if you take a China and you look at ours is way less strict. However, it's very... memory, like, grab the information, stuff it in your head... regurgitate it.
Yeah, it's not about learning.
It's not about learning. It's about withholding information, spitting it out when you're supposed to, and then forgetting about it, and then moving on to the next thing. It's very mind-numbing and very stupid. There's no point to it. Like, I don't remember anything I learned in 6th grade, like, on, like, a dot. Like, I can't remember any of the projects.
Grade, let me think.
I remember watersheds.
I remember I learned about slopes in pre-algebra.
I learned about that in 7th grade.
I remember there was this guy, and she was like, you know, Michael Pagano?
Yeah.
I had his mom. She was my teacher for pre-algebra.
She's a wonderful one.
Yeah, she's really fun. But I haven't liked math forever.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I was never into it. So I don't really remember things I'm not into. Mm-hmm. Like from science classes, I remember quite a bit because I'm like, oh, I enjoy science. This is fun. Mm-hmm. I'm going to remember it.
Right.
Which is what Finland grabs a hold of. Like, they try to look at your things you like, give you that.
Catering to the students.
Yeah.
That's what Finland does. They're like, the teacher and the student need to have one-on-one interactive, like, things rather than teaching the masses from the front of the classroom. They're like, these are individual projects that you, like, need to invest in and care about. And that's what we should be doing. I was talking to my mom about that. My mom's a fourth grade teacher, and I was talking about that. Like, I was like, hey, Mom, so you need to cater to these individual students, and, like, instead of acknowledging it as a problem that exists, you need to come up with a plan and a strategy to be able to fix this problem. And I know it's not fair for me to say anything because I'm on the outside, I don't understand the situation exactly, but you need to find a way to attack this problem in a way that's progressive, in a way that's going to, like, fix the problem, acknowledge it, and then solve it, rather than just saying, like, okay, this is a problem, and realizing that as a teacher, it is your job to
teach.
Right. You're also, like, the parent for these kids. Like, it's your job to secure their futures in a very constructive way. And Mr. C does a really good job at this. Like, he'll take his job as a band director, but he'll also, like, go on a couple steps above that, and he'll be like, I also, like, love about you guys. Like,
He wants to be a friend.
He wants to be a friend. He's also, like I said before on the show.
Mentor. He's
like a mentor to me. He's like a father figure to me. Mm-hmm. And he has talks with kids about, like, their mental health and stuff that's going on at home because he genuinely cares, which is awesome. And that's something I want to emulate. But I was talking to my mom about Finland and about how they do school. And I was like, this is the way that school should work. And she was like, if you love Finland's school so much, you should go to Finland. And I was like, no.
I would.
I was like, no, we should take an idea that we recognize this is a good idea and apply it instead of just saying, oh, it works for them.
Whenever people say, oh, you don't like this country, then leave it. You realize everything that I'm trying to do is trying to improve the country. I'm not trying to diminish it in any way. I mean, not me personally, but people. Like, whenever people are like, leave the country, like, the reason they don't want to leave is because they're trying to help. And people don't realize that. They're like, oh, you don't want to change anything. Well, you realize that from, like, the 1700s, we've changed so much, and it has improved. Mm-hmm. But if you want to stay where we are now, it's just going to be worse. Another thing is, what I think is really stupid is, like, in the U.S., whenever you're looking for colleges,
right,
something that colleges will, show to you really proudly is their student-to-kid ratio. Like, if you have a below...
student to teacher.
Yeah, student to teacher. If you have, like, a 1 to 10 or lower, that's very good. Mm-hmm. Because that means that kids are getting more attention, more one-to-one conversation. And then people don't apply that to grade school. Like, in grade school, teachers have, like, it's like a 1 to 20 or more.
Yeah.
People don't realize if it's good for college students to have more one-on-one, it is infinitely times better to have it with the grade kid students. They are maturing. They are growing, like, way more than college kids. So, like, we should have more one-to-one ratios in grade schools and high schools than we do in college. Like, or we should have the same amount, really. Mm-hmm. Because if you're trying to learn, you need that individualism. Or else it's like you're just someone going through the motions, like, in one big system, like a factory, pushing out students that believe something.
Product.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. So the way that teaching works in, like, education in general is there's a market cycle. 1 year there's, like, a high demand for teachers, and then, like, 4 years later there's, like, no demand for teachers at all. And my mom graduated college in a year where there was, like, no need for teachers at all. And so she was stuck substituting a lot. Because she like would apply to jobs, but, like, they were like, we can't take you right now, and we don't need you. Currently, especially after COVID, a lot of teachers retired. Like, a lot of older teachers, they either, like, I don't died, or
they just don't want to go through it anymore.
They're like, we're done now, and I'm gonna retire now. I mean, maybe it was just hard to get back up and going after quarantine stuff, but, like, the market for schools is super low. Like, my mom has a really tough time trying to find a sub because all the subs got jobs, right? So I think that you're right in saying that, like, there should be more teachers to like, and we should spread out the students among those teachers because there's a steady flow of students regardless of how many teachers there are, right?
Yeah.
People are still going to have, and there's actually going to be more students, so we're going to have to accommodate that. But I feel like it has less to do with teachers that need jobs because the market fluctuates, like I said. It has more to do with space. Like, I feel like schools are kind of like, this is how many teachers we need for the amount of students in the area. Like, it's not, there's no teachers that are going to, like, come teach. Or there's not, like, that's not the issue. The issue isn't how, it's
the standard.
Yeah,
There's a standard of schooling that the students or the teachers want to meet, and as soon as they meet it, they don't look for anything extra.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is like teachers are paid pretty bad for what they do.
Yeah.
Like something that I have a problem with is people are like, "Oh, we don't have anyone doing these jobs." And they're like mad about that. Well, the reason is maybe because you're not paying a great wage. Like something I would love to do is be a librarian.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be a librarian, but like I couldn't do that as a career because they don't get paid very much. And like I don't know, it's just a thing, you know? Like if you're going to want someone to do something, especially something as important as teaching kids, then you need to pay them like enough to actually live and stuff. And also, you have to give teachers support. Like I've seen so many different stories where teachers have to buy their own stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
And like there was this one hockey game, I don't remember where, but basically the halftime show was just people would throw money into the center ring and a bunch of teachers from around the area would have to run and grab the money off the ground.
Wow.
Like
I mean that's a cool idea, but
No.
it also kind of seems like
no, not cool. It's humiliation.
yeah, I'm gonna say like their heart's in the right spot where like, oh, we need to help the teachers, but like the way they're doing it is really weird.
Very terrible. I'm also not gonna have kids.
I might.
I went from I might have kids to I'm not gonna have kids to I don't think anyone should have kids.
Yeah. Antinatalism.
Antinatalism.
What does that mean?
That means against kids. Kill every kid.
It's a concept of
against
procreation
childbirth.
is evil.
Well, I'd say my personal views on antinatalism are different than
The standard?
that standard.
Yeah.
Like I don't think having kids is evil. I just think you shouldn't. Because number one, like
It's just not practical.
it's not
Good for the environment.
yeah.
The worst thing for the world right now is
every
more
single
people.
person creates more pollution.
Yeah.
So if we have more people, we have more pollution.
Mm-hmm.
If we have more like anything that needs to come from a person or comes from a person, then it's just more pollution.
I was thinking about this the other day. So, the portions in which we buy products as consumers is really weird to me. Like, Costco has the right idea where they sell things in bulk. Because think about it. You're going to use, like I was thinking about this from Dunkin'. At Dunkin', we go through, 60 gallons of milk a day. And we buy that milk in gallons, right? So, why don't they buy it in much bigger bulks? It would save plastic. It would be more cost efficient for the people who are selling the milk because they have to make use less plastic as a container, and it also
it's more difficult to transport.
But
like soda cans.
soda.
Like soda cans. There's just a video on YouTube that it's like, here's why the cylinder is the greatest soda can, and the point is that if you have it with straight edges.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to carry.
What?
It's weird to hold.
Uh-huh.
They were talking about all they want to use the least amount of money for production.
Yeah.
But fit it the closest in containers.
Right.
And if you have straight edges, it fits right up next to each other.
So compact is a super big factor.
Yeah, because they want to use less money.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is that cylinders have space whenever you put them next to each other.
Yeah.
However, if it's not a cylinder, people don't want to buy it because it looks weird. If you use balls, circles,
Yeah.
spheres, they have a lot of space between them, but it looks weird.
Uh-huh.
So it's all
terrible.
it's all about
Hexagons. That's where it's at.
no, because that's weird.
No, it's the most compact shape though. But we're wasting so much product with the current way that we do stuff.
I went to Puerto Rico
Uh-huh.
in 2015 or 2016 because I have family down there.
Shush, Max.
And basically, there was this thing. My family that I have down there is very rural.
Okay.
They have a farm and pigs and agriculture and crops and stuff.
Who are they to you?
My second cousins
Mm.
and Grant, great aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's aunt. So basically, what happens with them is like they have so much waste.
Mm-hmm.
Not waste as in like plastic, waste as in food. Like they have an overabundance of food.
Wow.
Like they throw out pounds of bananas like every morning because they just have so much and like they don't have enough people to eat it. So something I was thinking is like go to countries like Puerto Rico where in the rural areas they have so much food just because they work for it and they make it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You take that and you put it to places that don't have food.
Right.
Which
that sounds pretty...
It sounds good, but it would not work because obviously food doesn't last forever and it would be so difficult to get it and then bring it over. But yeah, I just think that people should stop having kids. I'm pretty sure that like population experts, whatever they're called, they've said we're gonna have a cap at 10 billion.
You think?
Well,
or they think?
I don't know. That's what they think. Because we're at, what are we at? 7 point something. We're really close to 8 billion now.
I thought we hit 8 billion.
We might have. But the thing is, like, we're at 8 billion or however much, and we're already having problems with overconsumption. 7.753 billion.
As of 2020.
As of 2020. So it's probably around 7.8.
No, it's 7.9.
7.9.
As of December 2021.
So as of now, it's 7.9 billion. So think about this.
And about an eighth of that is in India.
India. Whenever we had 6 billion people, we already had land shortages.
We don't have land shortages.
Yeah, we do. Do you see housing in China and India?
Yeah.
It's so cramped.
It's just compact, though. We don't have, like...
Yeah, but it's shortages.
The whole world, though.
No. Well, yeah,
we have
but
plenty of space.
We have plenty of space, but the thing is, most of it is water.
Right.
And people aren't going to live on water.
Yeah.
And the islands that we do have are either not allowed to be inhabited, too far away to be inhabited, or are already inhabited by some people that aren't allowed to go near. Like, there's that one island that we saw where people have, like, colored buckets or whatever, and they were throwing spears at a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We can't go there because it's off limits now. But all the land that we do have is, like, crazy. Because we have a bunch of land in, like, Antarctica and northern North America.
Yeah.
Like, above Canada. But it's so cold up there that, like, we can't be expected to live up there.
Right.
Unless we make some new technology that makes it normal.
And eventually probably will be.
And, it will. Because if we're already having problems now in, like, India and those places in Asia that have, like, so many people they don't know what to do with, the thing is that we're going to need to go over there. But once we do, it's going to be so expensive that it's not going to cost cheap enough for people to live there.
Do you think that if there was, like, a severe population crisis, we would focus more energy on populating Mars?
Everything is about profit.
Yeah.
If there's no profit out of going to Mars, no one's going to do it. There is a profit, though.
Yeah.
That's why Elon Musk wants to go.
Exactly. It's another investment.
It's either profit or greed. Think about this. Jeff Bezos, he went to space.
Yeah.
Only, like himself, with
fun.
William Shatner.
For fun.
And it costed like 294 billion, I don't know. It was a lot of money. But he did it for fun because he has the money. There was nothing that helped us at all with that little
Actually, probably
rocket.
did worse for us.
Yeah, because it caused so much...
It was a bunch of jobs that it took to do that, which is good. But it also, like, took a lot of...
But why do we need jobs? Because we have so many people. And why do we need people? We don't. Get rid of them.
So there's this idea with population caps in an ecosystem, right? So let's say there's the standard, like, 8th grade science example, which is, like, you have 50 deer on this island, and you populate it with, like, 3 wolves, and eventually the elk stop eat, or I say deer, the deer stop like populate to a point where the elk, where the wolves can't eat them all fast enough. So eventually,
no, that's not what happens.
All the grass will get eaten or something like that.
No, here's what happens. So if there's 3 wolves and 50 deer, there's so much food for the wolves that they have an excess of food. So they make a lot of babies.
Yeah.
So then there's 50 wolves and 10 deer. Now there's not enough food, so there's less wolves. So the deer will increase, and it goes back and forth.
And the wolves will die off.
That's where it stays.
But
like
there's
that.
also other factors that also lie into this, like disease, right? You don't really have rampant disease in underpopulated areas. Diseases only become super prevalent in highly populated areas, really close to that population cap, because if you have an ecosystem with not a lot of population, who's going to pass on that disease? Not a lot of people, not a lot of interactions between species. But if you have a really populated area, you have a lot of disease. Take India, take China, for example.
Yeah.
Super, like,
When COVID happened in
Yeah.
India, it was like 20 million people had died, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
A lot of those same people, like, I don't know, we call them economists, ecologists, ecologists. They think that COVID is a symptom of us getting too close to this population cap. They think it's like, okay, this is... I mean, I think they're right.
Could be.
I mean,
It's all speculative.
it is speculative, but also it's a pretty simple cause and effect. You're also jumping to a conclusion.
But also, I don't think we created COVID.
No,
So
you're right.
I
but
mean,
we gave it
diseases are natural.
Yeah.
Like, before humans were, like, a big, overbearing species, diseases happened all the time to animals, and it would just be corrected. Because if a disease kills a lot of wolves, you know, it's the same thing. So
Circle of life.
yeah, so here's what I'm thinking. Something I brought up when I took chemistry last year, to, like, my friends that I had in there, like Ryder and all that, I was like, I think we should stop killing things.
Like animals?
Animals, yeah. Just in general. Because if we don't want to die, they don't want to die.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, they're not us, but you can see it. Like, when you shoot a deer, it runs away. Like, it doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
Nothing wants to die. So here's what I'm thinking. If we just stop killing things, the only thing that'll really be worse is, like, we won't have meat. But we already have, like, plant meat and stuff, and lab-grown meat, which
is
doesn't
a thing,
cause
it's
any...
just it's not cost efficient.
It doesn't cause any death,
Right.
though. So here's what I think. When I brought that up in chemistry, they were like, well, if you don't kill deer, then there will be an abundance of deer, and we don't want that. And I was trying to explain it to them to the hardest I could.
Talking to the students.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could not understand it. They couldn't understand that no matter if we stop killing deer or if we, like, make more deer...
Nature will check itself.
It will check itself. It's
Yeah.
just how it works.
Yeah.
Like, if there's 5 million deer and 3 wolves, there will be more wolves and less deer. Like, if we stop killing deer, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, I want to kill a deer because it's fun. What if someone wanted to kill you because it's fun? What would you say? Oh, that's illegal.
Well, that's different because I'm sentient. Do you know what sentience is?
So?
Do you know what sentience is?
But why is it more important?
Because I'm me.
So? A deer could think the same thing and we would never know.
Yeah.
I don't think we should kill any animals.
So, crabs, octopus, and squid recently got categorized as sentient species.
Yeah.
Do you know what classifies something as sentient?
Probably looking in a mirror and it's thinking, hey, that's me.
It's I mean, but it's the classification of
Metacognition?
no, because nothing can do that but us. It's the idea that we know of, I guess. But sentience is, according to this animal group that deems sentience, it's the ability to perceive pleasure and pain and be able to comprehend that. Like, we don't think that fish can do that. Like, we don't
Can
think
they?
that we don't think so.
Yeah.
Because, like, you do experiments like this. You can put, and they can learn. But, like, do we know that they're registering something as pain and it's
Well,
decreasing their quality
yeah,
of life?
because there's no measurement of pain. Like, they tried to, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because everyone feels it differently. But what we know mostly about fish is that their pain is like our stress, just extreme levels of it. So, like, if you were to stab a fish, it wouldn't be like, ow. It would just be like, I gotta get away. And it would just start to swim away.
Yeah.
So we don't know if, like, I was having this argument with Silas.
Cox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In biology.
Intellectual equivalent.
Yeah. And he was like, I think fishing should be okay because fish don't feel pain. And I was like, that's kind of true. They don't feel pain. But they're still being put on stress. And we don't like stress.
Hi, Max.
So, like, why? I feel like we should just treat things like ourselves. Like, if there's an animal that's only means is to hurt other animals, I think we should kill it.
Like mosquitoes?
Yeah, like mosquitoes. Because if there was a human that only mean was to kill other humans, we would not like that.
Yeah.
So if there's like a turtle or like a deer that's just living their life and not harming us in any way, why should we kill it?
But what about like a shark?
What about it?
Like they need to hurt other animals.
They don't hurt us. They don't, like, here's the thing. If it's killing them for their own safety and it's not just like death, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Then
What about orcas? Because orcas kill for pleasure.
okay.
Should we kill orcas?
We could,
Yeah, we could.
but I don't think we should.
Because they're also important in their ecosystem.
Things kill orcas.
Like other orcas.
Yeah.
But like sea lions don't stand a chance against an orca. Orca's the top of the
Okay,
food
but
chain.
humans don't stand a chance against the orca. Unless we had a gun.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
It doesn't... It's just like... It's not real.
We're just a bunch of high schoolers in a basement.
It's
talking
not
about
real.
stuff.
Like,
Nothing we say is going to really change the
no
world.
one is ever going to stop killing things.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my version of utopia.
Yeah.
And even then, it wouldn't be the greatest.
Use us as influence to change the world.
Or don't. You have
Just
free will.
make your own convictions.
Yeah. If you don't agree with what we say, good. I want you to think complexly. Because, like, if you can find an argument...
That's exactly what Mr. C was talking about. He was like, my job as a teacher is not to teach you any conviction of mine. My job as a teacher is to teach you to think critically.
Yeah. That's what parents should think, too.
Yeah.
A parent's job is not to take their views and put them on your child. It's to give your child the chance to make their own views.
It has nothing to do with your convictions or your values or your personal ethics. It's teaching someone else to be able to develop those for themselves and general ethics.
That's why I don't want to have a kid. That's a big reason.
It's a huge responsibility.
That, also, I would want to tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be very detrimental because we lie to kids so often.
Like,
Santa.
yeah.
Like, if my kid was like, Christmas, my friends told me about Santa, or like if they don't know what Santa is, I wouldn't say Santa's coming. I'd be like, we're having a celebration of each other. And since we love each other, we're going to give gifts on this day. Just because it's what we've been doing. And I'm going to be like, you know what? I will give you gifts. And I will give everyone, like these people I love, gifts. And that is why we have this celebration. It's not because some magic man in the sky has decided...
I'm going to give you
I
presents.
don't even understand Santa. Like, obviously kids are stupid. But like... Why? Why is Santa giving us gifts? It doesn't make sense.
It's a market. It's a product.
It is. Like, look, right there.
He bought this mug.
I didn't.
Why?
But it's there.
Did you buy this mug?
Anyway, I would just have a tough time with kids because I would want to tell them the truth, and then if they told other kids, parents would get mad at me because I would just want to tell them like what I think is a fact.
Well, I don't really care if other people's parents are.
I am because I'm bad with confrontation.
Yeah.
But also that I'm just not gonna have kids. I don't find a need to have kids. Maybe I will in the future.
A bad reason to have kids is I want to be a parent.
That's true.
You agree? Is a good reason to be a parent. I think I'd be a good parent, and I could raise a really good kid.
I'm an antinatalist, Jeffrey.
I know.
I don't think anyone should have kids, no matter what. I think a good reason to have a kid is no reason, but
the best reason.
If I wasn't an antinatalist, like before, I was always thinking I would have a kid if I could support them, like, financially. I could give them a quality of life that I would have wanted. And if I could, like, support them in a way that would make them their own human being and, like, support the world, you know? Just help, like, give another critical thinker or something.
My parents will say this all the time when there's, like, an issue, and I'll call them out.
We brought you into this world. We can make you out of it.
What? They'll be like, dude, we don't know what we're doing all the time. We're not perfect parents.
Right.
Right?
That makes sense.
Right, it does.
However,
at the same time, like,
you decided to be a parent.
Picked this responsibility.
Yeah. It's so annoying. Like,
you pick this responsibility.
Something I hate.
If I ever do choose to have a kid, I will take years preparing for that role. I won't just do it on a whim. Because I'm like, okay, this is like a thing I need to do now. Or like, I've always wanted to do this. It'll be like a lot of book reading, a lot of preparation, a lot of like
which is pretty common now.
Yeah, it is.
But I think a lot of people still have kids for 3 reasons that I don't like. the reason you said before about
I've always wanted to be a mother.
I've always wanted to be a mom. Not a good reason. Number 2, to help a relationship.
Yo,
You should
dude.
never have a kid to fix your marriage. Number 3, to move yourself forward. Like, if you're thinking about lineage, bad idea to have a kid. Like, if I'm thinking, oh, I don't want the Luciano name to die, that's a horrible reason, because I'm not even thinking about the kid. I'm thinking about myself.
That's what animals do.
It's not. They don't have last names.
They pass on their own genes.
Yeah,
like,
but
I
they're
need to
not
pass on my
trying to
genes.
do that.
Their
They're
genes
just
are
having
their last
kids.
name.
They're just having kids.
My last name's my gene.
Not really. Anyway, yeah. I think that no one should have kids.
I think Mr. C is an antinatalist. Because I was talking to him about it.
He doesn't have a cat.
It's true. I was talking to him about the idea of antinatalism without saying it, and he was like, "Oh, that's antinatalism. Do you know about that?" And I was like, "I do know about that.
Maybe he's
you
an
must know
antinatalist.
about that." So I've always wondered, like, I think that the best parent in the world right now, if they were to have a kid, will be Mr. C. But that's also unfair, because maybe he wouldn't be the person he is today if he were a parent.
Yeah, kids change everything.
But I've always wondered what kind of parent Mr. C would be.
I think he'd be a pretty good parent.
I do too, but that's also not that's not a fair thing to quantify.
Yeah. You can't really quantify that before they're a kid. Before they're a kid. Or before they're a parent. Yeah. That was a pretty good
It was a good episode.
argument.
Good argument. I disagree with you.
Anyway. We should talk about something, not now, but next episode we should talk about something we don't agree on. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff we're talking about we agree on.
Conflict.
Yeah, because we never really we haven't really debated yet.
Yeah, we talked about that in the intro. I thought about it the other day. I was like,
Yeah, we talked about debating. We talked about going out.
about doing abortion, but like that's such a like on the nose kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
I
was
mean,
like,
I would talk about it though.
I would too, but like I feel like
I don't really care though.
it'd be like it's too obvious of a thing. Comment below if you want to hear us talking about abortion.
Comment what you want to hear us talk about.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll do an Instagram Q&A. Give us a controversial topic, and then we'll pick either a random one or one.
You should do the one where it's like you type in an answer and you can type in whatever you want.
Exactly.
Not like the yes or no.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, good.
We should also do a guest and have him just be here awkwardly as we're like.
It should be
arguing
Noah Felty.
We'll be like, so now what do you think?
Or the other one.
Oh yeah. We'll see if
Anyway, don't have kids. Stop polluting
Ever.
the world. Move to Finland.
Move to Finland. That's
Move to
the
Finland.
that's the end of the
That's
video.
the bigger thing. Yeah, that's the end. Oh my God, I'm so in love. I finally got a me to make you wanna say, oh, 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 oh my God. We have a special guest today. His name is Xavier
Luciano.
Andres Luciano.
Cue applause.
Cue applause.
Singing challenge. Sweat me, you win $1,000.
This is a singing challenge.